It is Friday, March 13th, 2020, and you are tuned into DIRTRACKR Daily. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is obviously not the show I expected to have to do today or really want to do. I'd much rather be talking about racing and getting you ready for the weekend and all of the things that are going on. But the state of things as they are, this is kind of what's necessary, and I feel like there won't be any editorializing. I don't care about reasons or any other talk around this. I'm just gonna kind of run through the facts and give you an idea of kind of where we stand right now with events and things like that as we go forward. But obviously a very, very unprecedented time in our country. Major sporting events and leagues are canceling or postponing events. Racing is obviously one of those things that's being affected as well. We've seen the NHRA has postponed the Gator Nationals. 12 hours of Sebring has been moved to November. NASCAR and IndyCar are running races this weekend in front of no crowds. The Formula One Grand Prix in Australia was canceled late yesterday. It's also been announced that the Grand Prix of Long Beach has been moved from April till sometime later in the year yet. They don't know yet when that will happen. And I know some of you probably don't want to hear about this topic, which I completely understand. But like I said, I just kind of want to give you the facts and let you know what's happening, what's not happening, and give you some idea about kind of what to expect moving forward. So here's kind of what we know right now, kind of set in stone things that we know are canceled. The Syracuse Motorsports Expo, originally set for Saturday and Sunday this weekend, has been canceled. The Bakersfield Speedway racing program, originally slated for Saturday, has been postponed. Saturday's USAC West Coast 360 sprint car race at Colorado Speedway in Hanford has been canceled. Thunderbolt Raceway has canceled their March 21st show. There's also some question about upcoming shows. They originally said that the World of Outlaws shows had been canceled, but they have since pulled back on that a little bit. Ocean Speedway canceled their Friday night show, and Merced Speedway canceled their Saturday show. The Orange County Fair Speedway has canceled their indoor trade show, which was scheduled to take place next weekend. So lots of stuff being canceled, and as that's happening in real time, I was trying to make sure I was retweeting a lot of that stuff yesterday through the DIRTRACKR Twitter account, and keeping you guys up to date on what is happening and what's not happening, and we'll continue to do so through the weekend as things happen. As we know for right now, the World of Outlaws shows for this weekend, starting tonight and tomorrow night in Texas, are still on. Lincoln and Port Royal are still on as well. The Arizona Speedway, their Saturday show, as well as the NARC King of the West show on Saturday at Kern County. It sounds like the Silver Dollar Speedway is still on for this weekend as well. Still a very fluid situation, so things could change rapidly. So keep an eye on things like Twitter, and DIRTRACKR will be a good place to keep up with some of that stuff as well, as things get updated through the weekend. Several other tracks have announced they are keeping an eye on the situation and will put out announcements in the event of any changes. I've seen things like from Attica and a few other places. So keep an eye out there. Make sure you know what's going on if you're trying to attend some of these races or trying to buy pay-per-view, things like that. Be aware of what's happening and what's not happening. Expect other events in California to be in jeopardy over the coming weeks. A lot of that stuff is a lot of these events are going to be affected by decisions from the kind of the state, local level at this point. So a lot of these tracks are not going to have a choice but to cancel some of these events. We know other places that will be affected by the coronavirus right now include Ohio, Illinois, and New York. These kind of mandates about there being large gatherings of people are going to shut down a lot of these races, and a lot of other states are probably going to follow. And obviously with short track racing, it's very different than kind of the NASCAR, IndyCar weekend. And, Formula One had even talked about maybe running in front of no fans. We saw a little bit of the PGA Tour event got run yesterday, but they have since canceled. But they were talking about also doing it in front of no fans. But that's just not viable for the short track world. And so don't expect these races to kind of be run on pay-per-view and you can just watch from home. Obviously, if they can't have fans in the stands, then that changes the economics of these events dramatically. And they'll either get postponed till later in the year when things change a little bit, or you'll see them just canceled outright. So obviously, very fluid situation. Things are going to change kind of minute by minute through the day, through the weekend, through the next couple of weeks. And we'll try to keep you abreast on the show as we can about what's happening, what's not happening, and what to do next. And, this show is obviously based around racing, and I was kind of thinking about this. A lot of these things like ESPN and Fox Sports and NFL Network and all these TV networks, and radio shows and things like that. What are they going to talk about when there's no sports going on? But this show will absolutely 1,000% continue, even if there's no racing happening. I'm still going to put a show out every single day. If I have to go back and start breaking down old races that I find on Flow or on Dirt Vision or something like that, we will find some racing to talk about. There's no doubt about that, and it'll give me plenty of time to work on things like the analytics section and building out the site more, and we can certainly talk about stats and things like that from the past. So this show will continue no matter what happens. So keep that in your mind. Another cancellation from this weekend, or I guess postponement from this weekend, is the USCS Sprint Car Weekend. From North Alabama was postponed. That's due to weather and some saturated grounds there in Alabama. So no USCS race this weekend. Racing from last night, Justin Whitehead won the IMCA Modified Show at Southern Oklahoma over Jeff Taylor, R.C. Whitwell, Jeff Larson, and Tyler Stevens. Over at Port City for the Now 600 Micro Series, Chris Carroll won the stock non-wing feature. Frank Flood won the winged A class, and Garrett Benson won the restricted A class. Just to kind of give you an idea of some races that are still going on. We'll talk about some other stuff here that's going to happen. Podcast episodes I wanted to point out this week. Wing Nation has a couple of shows. Ricky Warner is one. Corey Eliason and Andy Forsberg is another, if you're looking for something to listen to. Also, Rip the Fence has an episode with Tanner Thorson. There's also new episodes from the Ohio Dirt Track podcast, Dirt Nerds, and Suave Talk over at Dirt on Dirt. If you're looking for the Ohio Dirt Track podcast, those guys are not on their old feed anymore. That has been moved over to Sprint Car Unlimited. So if you'd like to listen to the Ohio Dirt Track podcast going forward, that is over at sprintcarunlimited.com. It is still free. It's not behind the Jeremy's paywall, so you can still listen to that for free. I'll give you a quick check of the pay-per-view schedule. I mentioned World of Outlaws in action. They start tonight at Cotton Bowl Speedway. That's obviously on Dirt Vision. Port City Raceway in action again for the Now 600 Oil Capital Clash at Port City. That's on Flow Racing. Beatrice Speedway Spring Nationals, Late Models Modified Sport Mods Hobby Stock Cars, that's on Speed Shift. Woodford Glen Battle of the Stocks Night 2, also on Speed Shift. And the Southern Oklahoma Speedway, we saw that happen, or that first show happened last night, the IMCA opener, that is also on Speed Shift. If you're looking for more events about what's going on, things like that, you can certainly check out the schedule for open wheel races over at tjslideways.com and the late model schedule over at Dirt on Dirt. The late model schedule was fairly light this week. Actually, I'll jump over there and just kind of give you an idea. There's none of the major series are really in action this week. I think I mentioned that earlier this week, but a few shows going on still. There's some non-touring stuff going on, some unsanctioned shows. Carolina Clash is in action. The Sooner Late Model Series is in action. There's some other stuff there. So if you're looking for that, you can go over to dirtondirt.com and click on the schedule. And then, like I mentioned, tjslideways.com and the schedule over there for the late model or for the open wheel stuff. There's still a lot of Australia shows. And like I mentioned, some of the sprint car shows are still happening this weekend. So if you're looking for something to watch or get into, you can go check those out. Also, the pay-per-view schedule will be up and running through the weekend over at Dirt Tracker. So if you're looking for something, if you're stuck at home and you're looking for something to watch, click on Watch Tonight in the menu at DIRTRACKR.com and you can see what is going on over in the pay-per-view world. Obviously, updated schedules from all of your favorite pay-per-view providers. No changes to the analytics section. Haven't had a chance to work on that the last couple of days, but we'll continue adding to that as we go. And I will keep you abreast of those changes that we make there. You can find DIRTRACKR Daily on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or where you get podcasts. Please subscribe, leave me a review, and tell your friends. You can also watch the show on YouTube and Facebook. If you'd like to email the show, you can do that at info@dirttracker.com. You can follow along with DIRTRACKR at facebook.com/DIRTRACKR, twitter.com/DIRTRACKR, and DIRTRACKR.com, DIRTRACKR.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Justin_Fiedler, and you can sign up for the weekly newsletter at DIRTRACKR.com. A little bit of weather issues, obviously still going to Atlanta this weekend for the NASCAR weekend. There's some weather issues and stuff through the weekend, so I will try to keep you guys posted on whether or not there will be a Monday show. Hopefully we will get those races in and I can get back like normal. But if not, we'll definitely have a show Tuesday, kind of recap the weekend, see what racing we did get in, and talk about obviously next steps in the future of kind of what we're going to see and not see, and keep you guys up to date on what's going on. So thanks for everybody for tuning in this week and today. I'll see, no matter what happens, I'll see everybody at some point next week on DIRTRACKR Daily.